Okay, let's take a comfortable seat. And you can sit in butterfly if you like, or cross-legged. I find cross-legged sometimes just a little unbalanced. So I'm gonna take butterfly just to balance out my left and my right sides of the hips. And let's take a comfortable spine. Just drop the belly back towards the spine. Roll the neck forward, roll the chin forward, and then just release up and just lift the chest, lift the gaze. So a couple of times more just to release out the spine, dropping and curling as you breathe out. Breathing in, opening. So it's just a very simple cat and cow as you sit. So the pelvis is kind of the main key operator in this movement, and the upper back. Breathing out, relaxing, breathing in, opening. And then bring yourself back into center. Turn the head to one side, just give the neck a little bit of movement. And then dropping the ear. And then just drop the chin to the chest. So don't move the shoulders. Just drop the chin and then raise the chin. So lengthen through the back of the neck rather than compress. And then bring yourself back. Few little shoulder circles. And then the last time on those shoulder circles, breathe out and close the eyes. Take the palms face up. Give the fingers a little wiggle here. The eyes are closed, so just listen to my cues. And just touch the fingertips against the thumb. That sensation, touch. And then release the palms out. And take a few nice deep breaths. Allow the breath to be steady, free flowing, nothing is forced. Your breath is your length, your rhythm. Try to equal out the in to the out and the out to the in. And the inhale fills the entire body to each and every cell. Big toe, little finger, big thumb, big thumb. Crown of the head. And the exhale tries to release any tightness or tension that you might be holding. Mind, body, heart. And draw yourself a little bit more inner awareness here. How you feel today. Taking note if the thoughts are distracted. Taking note how the body feels. Give yourself a little bit of self-awareness. And being completely present. Noticing everything. that is going on with you. And as we come into July, we enter a new theme of Jnana, one of the classical paths of yoga, the path of knowledge, the path of self-realization. And self-realization is an expression used in psychology and philosophy and spirituality. An understanding that it's the fulfillment of oneself, of the possibilities of one's character, of one's personality, and of one's potential. And realizing your own potential in modern day life. And just pondering on those words for a moment: jhana, knowledge, self-realization, fulfillment, possibilities, potential. Maybe you draw in an intention that suits how you are feeling, how you are thinking at the moment. And let's come to our nadi shodhana, our alternate nostril breath. Using the right hand, drawing the two fingers into the third eye, the Ajna chakra, focus, concentration, self-awareness. Taking a nice deep breath in through both nostrils. And breathing out through both. Preparing to close the right nostril with the thumb. Inhaling through the left. Close off the left with the ring finger. Exhale out of the right nostril. Inhale right. Close off with the thumb. Exhale out of the left. That's one complete round. Let's take 9 more at your own pace of breath. In left, out right, in right, out left. And maybe you're coming to your last and final round. Exhaling on the left nostril. Releasing the hand down, breathing normally through both. And then gently bring some movement back into the hands. Start to gently circle through the wrists. Really mobilize. Hi, Tallulah. And circling the other way. And circle through the shoulders. Nice deep breath in as you bring the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, drop the shoulders down the back. Big circle. Lovely. Couple more. And in today's practice, most of it will be down on our mat, and we'll probably be using mostly the strap or a block. So lifting the knees together, bringing the knees in, and just rest the belly, rest the chest over the thighs. Let the head release down between the knees and just feel a nice stretch all the way from the neck down to the base of the spine. Relax the shoulders. And then gently roll out, and let's come to lying down and having that strap handy, having the block handy, and drawing both knees in towards the chest. And maybe the hands come underneath the calves. Maybe they go on top of the shins. Maybe you can interlace the fingers. But try not to have any tension here whilst we're just drawing those knees in. We want to feel completely at rest here. Relaxing the belly, the navel down towards the spine. Relaxing the spine, the waist, the back rib cage and the shoulder blades are just spreading out underneath you. And take note of where your head is. Is the chin slightly lifting? Are you arching into the back of your neck? Or are you tucking the chin towards the chest? Try to lengthen the neck out, but keep the space between the chin and the chest. And gently take the fingertips up onto the knees and just gently guide the knees outwards away from one another so that you can start to circle through the hip joint softly. You're going to start to feel the hip releasing any tension. And if you notice any clicks, crunches, any grinding, always honoring your range of motion within the joints, within the muscles today. This is going to be a deep stretching mobility practice, finding that self-awareness. Let's circle the other way. So when we start to circle the other way, we draw the knees inwards. And the knees don't have to go too far away from us, really keeping that pelvis grounded, the lower back pulling down towards the mat. And then releasing both feet down towards the mat. Give yourself a little bit of space. The heels don't have to be all the way into the buttocks, but not too far away either. So make sure that The feet are in line with the knees, and the knees are in line with the hips, and the hips are in line with the shoulders. And then start to wiggle the toes, lifting the ball of the foot away from the mat so that you can give the toes a little bit of a freedom. You're just pressing into the heel, into the mat. And then stretch the toes apart. So you're going to stretch the little toes out to the side and the big toes in towards one another into the center. So you might feel the foot widen, and you want to kind of increase that space between each toe. And then gently release and relax the foot down. Notice the feeling of that stretching. Just do that once more. Draw the heels into the mat, draw the toes up, and then start to spread the big toes in, little toes out. And as you're doing this, notice what happens to the pelvis. Does the pelvis tuck under, or does it tuck up so the pubic bone lifts up? Notice if the pelvis has changed position. Try and flatten the pelvis, pelvic stability. Keep stretching those toes, creating space. And gently release the toes down. Pelvic tilts here, so maybe bring the feet in just a little bit so that you can start to tilt the pelvis upwards towards the sky. So anterior and posterior tilts. So we're curling the lower back, curling the lower lumbar section, pubic bone kind of lifts up towards the sky. And then when you tilt it backwards, be gentle here, because what happens is there is a natural curve to the spine, and the lower back lifts away from the mat. And then roll down middle back, lower back, pelvis to tilt up. So really feel that. I want you to analyze it, observe it, notice it, sensations of that tiny, subtle pelvic movement. Notice if you've started gripping into the toes, if you're taking tension anywhere else in the body, or are you just isolating through the pelvis? And gently release. So right knee comes in towards the chest this time. And this is where we might need our strap, because we will be going into some deeper leg stretches. But for the moment, draw the knee in towards the chest and think of that knee coming towards the top of your collarbone on the right side. Left leg is bent for a moment. Left sole of the foot is pressing into the mat, nice and relaxed toes. Nice deep exhale. Again, the hands can come underneath the knee or on top of the shin if it's not compressing into the knee joint. And think about that thigh coming downwards towards the belly and the knee lengthening up towards the collarbone, but not hitching a hip. So when I mean hitching a hip, the right hip doesn't lift up towards the waist, pelvic stability all the way. Now from here, place a strap onto that right foot, and then we're going to start to extend the leg from the knee. So keeping the thigh where it is, start to extend the leg. You can draw the hands all the way down to the base of the strap. And at some point, when you start to straighten the leg starts to pull away from you because of maybe tightness in the back of your leg, tightness in the lower back as well. So try to keep the thigh in and extend from the knee. Imagining those toes are going back behind your head. Then find a place where you feel comfortable to stay. And then we're going to point the toes. Notice what happens to the leg. Draw the toes back in a flexion, pressing the heel up towards the sky. So the toes draw back Heel presses away. Notice what happens in the calf, back of the knee, hamstring, hip when we flex. Now relax the foot, relax the entire leg. Deep breath out, draw that leg towards us. And come to a point where you feel on a scale of 1 to 10 that it's not painful. You're not pulling, you're not overstretching the back of the leg. And if you feel comfortable to do so, you can extend now the left leg along the mat. Take a look, lift the head just a little to see if that leg is in line with the hip. Has it gone out to the side of your mat? Has it crossed over into the middle? Stacking joints, ankle, knee, hip. So that might have intensified the stretch in the right leg for you here as you've extended the left. Keep relaxing into both legs. Nothing is engaged. We're not overstretching through the hamstring. Try to release the navel towards the spine, spine towards the mat. So it's not really yin, it's more of an awareness of what's going on in the stretching of the muscles. Gently bend the knee and roll over onto your left hip, all the way over. So you're going to roll onto the left hip and then maybe drop that knee onto a block, any of those levels, or it might be reaching the mat. So you can hold the strap with your left hand if you wish, but to be honest, you can let it go. Left arm goes out to the side, palm face up, and again, think wrist to shoulder. This is the point where we're going to start to open up the chest. So if we can, keep lying on that left hip and then start to draw the right shoulder downwards. Never force this feeling for you. So if you need to, lift the knee up a little bit more. Use the heights of those blocks. Right arm comes out. Deep breath out. Try and relax everything. The underneath leg may be straight. You may need to bend. And what we want to try and think of our body is doing is chest, collarbones, shoulders up towards the sky, opening across the chest, twist through the spine, trying to release into that right hip, inner groin, outer thigh, maybe the knee. Again, being completely aware of where your body is in space and what those feelings, those sensations are. Really getting to know and finding that knowledge, Jnana, about your body, the intricate workings. Slowly roll yourself back. You can take the strap off if you wish. Coming into pigeon pose or reclined pigeon. So realign ankle, knee, hips, shoulders. Gentle flexion into that right ankle as if we're pushing that foot against a wall. Right knee opens out to the side, but again, try not to hitch that left hip up as you draw the right knee down. So pelvis stability. Okay. Hands can come either underneath the knee or maybe on top. And if your hands don't meet, you can always use a strap. So you wrap the strap around that left shin, but really try to get that right ankle on the fleshy part of your left thigh. Okay. Then we can start to work with the posture. So relax that left foot, relax the calf, relax the shoulders, the spine. The deeper the stretch, that knee is going to come in towards the chest. You can use your right elbow to leverage the right knee out. Take note if you've lifted the chin away from the chest or if you've tucked the chin. It's all about finding what works for you. So if something isn't working, move to a place where it is. From here, I'd like you to extend the left leg, if possible, up to the sky. Maybe draw that right foot down the thigh a little bit. Keep that flexion, pressing against something. So here might be that opportunity to hold onto the strap over that left leg. So you're going to pull the left leg towards you. Keep that right knee out to the side without moving the shape of the pelvis. That left leg can be straight or bent. Tailbone is lengthening down the mat, drawing itself down. Relax through the chest, the shoulders. And then slowly bend into that left knee and release that left foot down to the mat. So this is our IT band stretch this time. So we're going to roll onto the hip once more. That foot comes down to the mat, or it could come onto a block. So if you need to place the block there to put the foot on, if you're particularly tight into this outer hip area, the knee might only come to here. That's okay. Think about really grounding through the big toe and the heel, and gently you press the knee away from you, but then you start to again open up the chest towards the sky and try to release into that right hip joint. Arms can come out to the side, or right hand may reach down and take hold of that left foot. That's quite a deep stretch. We're not here for obviously the 2 to 3 minutes of yin, but you'll know what works for you, and the arms out to the side. So we're trying to really release into the IT band, the iliotial band, down the outer thigh. Pressing into that big toe and the heel of the right foot. Breathing out tension. When I first did this posture, I hated it enormously. It was extremely uncomfortable, and I had to make it my own. So it's important that you find a place which works for you. So if holding on to that foot is not for you, and you release that foot out and you put that foot on the block, that is your IT band twist. Nice and gently release the hands from wherever they are, and then roll yourself back as you bring both feet back up. Bring the knees up a little bit and just sway from side to side. Massage a bit into the spine. Circle both knees around one way and the other. Left foot goes down. Right hip opens. Take hold of the foot and then draw the thigh to the outer edge of your rib cage. So you want to kind of think about opening the rib cage, closing the rib cage and opening the hip and the thigh so that you can get that thigh down, and then 90-degree bend if you can into that back of the knee. Light flexion again when pressing the heel up to the foot, up to the sky. Half happy baby, draw the knee down. Left leg might be open, might be bent, knee facing forward, or extending the leg is always going to intensify the stretch. Take a look, heel to knee to hip. Deep breaths as you release the leg a little bit more. And if you're not holding on to the foot, that's okay. You can always use a strap, of course, but we are probably going to need a strap for the next one. So maybe place the strap there now, holding onto the strap, and we're going to stretch those toes away to the top right corner of our mat. Again, trying to think of that thigh staying where it is, relax into the back of the hamstring, extend from the knee. So think about where you can take those toes. At a point, you're going to think, that's enough for me. So work to that point. Leg might be bent or straight. So it's not quite out to the side, it's up to the top corner of your mat. Anchor down through the left side of your body. Relax the leg, let the leg be heavy. We're not flexing, we're not pointing. None of those muscles are engaged, but notice what is going on. Inner groin, inner thighs, hip joint. And then gently, softly bend. Heel comes down to the buttock and release the strap and bring the sole of the foot in towards either the inner thigh or the calf and let the knee drop out to the side. So it's like a tree. Try not to place the foot by the kneecap. Then notice what happens. Maybe the leg's quite heavy, so it'll lift the left hip up a bit. Anchor down through the left. You might use the hand to do that. And try to release as much as you can, the weight in that knee, the weight in that leg. And notice the opening of the hip. Relax a bit more, relax the glute underneath you. Breathe out, relax all of those muscles in the buttocks. And then use the right hand to gradually lift that knee up and place it all the way along the mat. Just take a moment in Shavasana, arms out to the side, shoulder blades spread out, palms face up. And again, check where the chin is. Is it lifting? Are you compressing into the cervical spine? Is the chin to the chest? Lengthen the neck. Relax the chest and shoulders. And now relax the belly, the navel to the spine to the mat, hips and legs. Notice how that right leg feels compared now to the left. Might feel about another inch, inch longer. Okay, draw both knees in. Nice and relaxed, knees to chest. Roll and massage out. You can hold underneath the legs or on top and interlace the fingers. So let's do that all again. Nice circles out to the side. You might feel that the right hip is now a little bit more open, a little bit more easy and breathable than the left. Circling the other way, keeping that tailbone lengthened down. And then keeping the left knee in towards the chest this time, placing the right foot down onto the mat. Thigh comes in towards the rib cage and the chest, so knee to shoulder. And having that strap handy so that you can place it over the foot for when we want to extend. And then nice deep exhale. Start to extend the leg from the knee, trying to keep the thigh where it is. At such a point, the knee, the hamstring are going to go, stop there. And you can only work with your range of motion. When it starts to tremor, pull the leg just lightly away from you so that you can start to work in the back of the knee. Not pop the knee out, so you're not pressing the knee away. It's a micro bend. Draw the hands all the way down to the strap so that you can relax the shoulders by the side of you. And then choosing to keep that right leg bent or extending it long. But if you are extending it long, think about drawing the leg downwards towards the mat. So the knee is drawing down. There's no engagement in the muscles as such. Both legs are completely relaxed. We're not flexing and pointing. And then just point the foot gently. Notice what happens in the back of the leg. And then draw the toes back towards you. Press through the heel. Imagine those toes are going way back over the head. And then relax. So you're holding onto the strap, but the strap is holding onto the leg. If you were to let go of that strap, the leg would fall. So everything is supported. You're not holding the leg up in any way. And then gently bend at the knee. You can roll over onto your right hip this time. I'm going to turn around this way. Having that block handy so you can place that left knee onto the block. You're rolling all the way over onto that right hip. Right arm goes out to the side, palm face up, look along the arm towards the fingers, and then you can start to open up through the left side. Maybe the arm comes out, and then you can start to draw that left shoulder down, and it might be tiny micro movements to get there and deep exhales. And again, if you need to, raise the block up so that the knee's not so high, bend the underneath leg if that feels good. Letting everything release in the twist. Relax through the glutes, the hips. Breathe into the digestive organs. And then slowly we're going to bring ourselves back into center, preparing for that reclined pigeon. So maybe taking off the strap and left foot goes over right thigh. Right foot goes down to the mat. Gentle flexion as if you're pushing that sole of the foot against a wall. Left knee presses out to the side, but not compromising the stability of the pelvis. So dropping the belly down to the spine, Spreading the pelvis out. Again, finding where the hands work or using the strap, but drawing that right knee in, relaxing that right leg, right foot. Hands might come underneath the calf or on top of the shin. Left elbow might use as leverage, again, not compromising the stability of the pelvis. Closer that right knee comes in towards the chest, deeper that stretch is going to be into your left hip joint and the glute muscles. So you may find that all of these right and left works. They might be balanced, they might be imbalanced. And this time we're going to extend that right leg up to the sky. So again, using the strap to take that leg up if you need. Keeping that left heel down on the fleshy part of the thigh. Will noticeably different this side for me. So just, you can keep that leg bent, but hold on to the strap, hold on to the leg. Draw the toes backwards. Lengthen the tailbone downwards. Breathe out through any of that muscle tightness. And release. Right foot comes down to the mat and we roll over onto the right hip once more. IT band stretch. So either using that block to place the foot on or that foot comes down to the mat again. That knee might be down here. That's okay. We don't want any injuries into the kneecap. So if you are able to, rolling back, shoulders start to come up down to the mat, opening up the chest. And again, choosing that left hand might take hold of right foot. Anchor heel and big toe of the left foot. Using the breath to release as much as you can, let go. Really being aware of what these sensations are, what the feelings, where those feelings are. And releasing the hand if you took hold of that foot, releasing the strap, and then bringing yourself back into center as you release the legs. Stabilize pelvis to spine to shoulders, and then just a little massage, circling backwards and forwards. Right foot goes down to the mat, left knee open to the side, open into the hip, and then bend at the knee. Get the rib cage free of the thigh as you take hold into half happy baby. Flexion into the ankle to push the heel to the sky, 90-degree bend, or as much as you feel comfortable into that left knee. Deep exhales as you draw the knee down. Take a check of shoulders, take a check of tension in the face. Also chin to chest or chin to sky, being aware of the length and through the neck. And again, choosing to open right hip, right knee falls out to the side, or keeping it bent and foot on the mat, or extending right leg. Again, check. Is it in line with your right hip? This is where we might need that strap to extend that leg up towards top left corner. So again, drawing that knee down, we're going to extend from the knee, thinking those toes are going to the top corner, anchoring through the right side of your body this time. Whew. Not overstretching, knowing your range. Try to release the buttocks underneath you. Notice what happens if that leg gets heavier. Drawing that right leg downwards, anchoring through the right hip. Drawing those toes up to the top left corner. Slowly bending at the knee, releasing the strap. And this is where we come into that tree pose. So sole of the foot either into the thigh or into the knee. Into the calf, not the knee. Stabilize hips and pelvis, arms come out to the side, or you can use that right hand to anchor through that hip, relax the left buttock, let the leg, the weight of that left knee fall out to the side. Notice if you're clenching at all. Using the left hand, lift the leg into center, close the hip off, release the left down. Take a moment in Shavasana, arms come out to the side, realign pelvis, spine, shoulders, and breathe out to let go. Notice how the left leg feels now. Is it as long as the right? Do they feel light? Do they feel heavy? Do they feel stretched? Do they feel uncomfortable? And then gently draw right and left knees in towards the chest. Roll, massage out a little bit more. Lift the head away from the mat. Draw the knees in tight and tight, tight ball. Lifting the tailbone away from the mat. Lifting the shoulders. Compressing thighs to belly. And then gently release and roll over onto your prone position, so onto your belly. How are we doing? Yeah. So forehead comes to the back of the hands. Elbows go a little bit wider here, and just think about where the shoulders are resting. Are the shoulders up by the ears? Or are they nice and relaxed? Relax the rib cage. Relax the belly. Let the spine drop. Let the hips be heavy. Maybe rock from side to side. Give them a little release. And then the right knee comes out to the side. Half frog. Gentle flexion right ankle. Take a look just gently back behind you. Where's that left leg? Is it in line with the hip? And then think, okay, so I haven't come too far above my hip. I'm in a 90-degree hip, 90-degree knee, 90-degree ankle. And if your arms feel comfortable, maybe that left arm releases back to the mat here, palm face up, and maybe you're resting your head on your right arm. So depends if the shoulders, like it with both hands underneath the head. Try to release through the buttocks. Let that right hip be as heavy as it can be. I'm going to have to turn around because I don't have enough room for where I want to go with us next. Now, from half frog, start to edge the toes. So you're extending from the knee. You're going to edge the toes away from the body. So sliding the toes out. And maybe they come at like about 45 degrees. Yeah. So we're pressing through the heel. Be aware of the knee joint here. And if you can, don't know if you can, it's okay. Bring it out to the side. So again, those toes are drawing forward. Heel is pressing away. Leg might be straight, leg might be bent, but in line with hip, no higher. Now drop the hip as much as you can. Good. Relax the buttocks, relax all the glute muscles. Gently and slowly bend at the knee. Bring the foot back through half frog first. Then wiggle the knee back and the foot back into that full prone position. Big toes touch. Heels fall out to the side and you sway through the hips. Right arm reaches back, or you can use a strap, taking hold of the right foot, and you're going to draw the foot in towards the buttocks rather than the outer hip. So lengthen the hip flexor underneath you as you lift the thigh just a little way away from the mat, lengthen the knee back, relax the body down. And slowly release the foot, let the feet float down to the side, take the feet wide, press the tops of the feet into the mat as you bring the arms out in front of you into Sphinx, dropping the hips, and then fingertips face forward. So the middle of your middle finger is in line with your elbow, is in line with your shoulder, is in line with your hip. Press away from the mat with the palms, the forearms, and the elbows, and then roll the shoulders open. Chest opens to the front of your mat. Keep the neck in line with the spine, but drop through the hips. We don't have to come too high here. Elbows don't have to be all the way back by the shoulders. They can be a little bit forward. Your spine, your Sphinx. Try not to let those heels roll inwards. Pressing the tops of the feet and the toes into the mat as you ground through pubic bone, hip bones. Keep working through the chest opening. And work everything to your mobility. And gently widen the elbows and roll down rib by rib. Bring the hands back, toes back, sway out. Left leg half frog, out to the side. So we want to drop as much as we can into this hip area, relaxing all the glutes. Again, finding a place for the hands, whether that's releasing the right arm back by the right hip and making sure that the right leg is in line with the hip. It's not crossing over to the center of your mat, or it's not crossing over to the outer edge of your mat. So we're holding these postures for just about a minute, which is about 10 to 12 breaths. It's just enough time for you to feel what's going on in all of the body areas. It's not just we're isolating through the legs, because everything is connected, obviously. So when we work with the legs, things happen in the upper body. When we work with the upper body, things happen in the lower body. So it's being completely aware. And we're going to extend that leg as we did on the right side. So again, extending from the knee, we're going to slide the foot away from us. Maybe it goes to 45 degrees, or you can readjust, bring that foot out to the side, toes face forward, flexing, pressing through the heel, and it's at hip height, dropping through that left hip, relaxing through the buttocks. And then slowly release the knee, slide the heel back, and then slide the knee and the leg all the way back into center. Big toes touch, heels fall out, roll out through the hips. Left hand to left foot for quadriceps stretch. Draw the heel in towards the buttock, lift the thigh away, draw the hip flexor down, and send the knee towards the end of your mat. Nice deep exhale. Breathe into the front thighs, the front hip flexor, hamstrings. Try to relax the calves. And gently release, let the foot float down. And then hands come to the outer edges, either on the palms or on the fingertips. Take the feet a little bit wider. Again, try not to let the heels roll in towards one another. Try to keep the pelvis nice and flat and widen. So give the shoulders a little roll. So we're going to widen across the chest as we press into the fingers or the palms. Reach the crown of the head away. Engage all through the trunk, and just gently raise up into seal. And then when you come up into seal, you might feel comfortable then dropping the palms so that you can actually push yourself away from the mat, really lengthening through the neck, keeping that space between the ears and the shoulders. So press away just a little bit more. Yeah, give that space, ear to shoulder space. Yeah. And then gently roll down and sway out. Good work. So just going a little bit deeper into some of these stretches and just being aware of what's going on. And just press ourselves back, tabletop. Find a bit of free movement now for yourself, swaying, cat and cow. Notice how the body feels. And then bring the knees wide, toes come together. Take a wide leg child's pose as you reach back, and you can bring the arms underneath the head, or you can stretch them out in front of you. Relax the belly, relax the chest, relax the head. Breathe through the back body. Steady and slow breaths. Believe it or not, we're coming to the end of the practice already. Time flies when we become deeper, absorbed into our flow state. And then gently draw the navel back towards the spine as you press away from the mat and just start to roll up. Keep the chin tucked in towards the chest until the last possible moment when the shoulders are in line with the hips and the knees can come together. And just take a moment in kneeling. And let's come into our final relaxation in Shavasana. Making yourself comfortable and maybe using something to support the head if you've got a pillow or a block. Because we were down on the mat quite a lot with our head flat for most of those exercises and stretching. Support the neck and the head here. And maybe you have a bolster underneath the knees as well. And letting the feet relax to the sides, letting the arms come away from the body. And here, as we come into Shavasana, give yourself a little bit of a wiggle through the hips and the pelvis. Hitch a hip up. So hitch the hip up to the waist on the right, hitch the hip up to the left. So it's like elongating the right and the left legs there, moving away from you, giving one an inch more than the other, and then relaxing into stability. Turn the palms face down for a moment. Just notice what happens with the shoulders. Shoulder rotation comes inwards. And then gently open the shoulders. Spread the shoulder blades underneath you. And maybe close the eyes. Relax the facial expression. Relax the forehead, the area in between the eyebrows. Feels soft. There's no furrowing of the brows. The eye area is soft. There's no wrinkles of the skin. Breathing calmly and smoothly through the nostrils. The tongue is on the roof of the mouth as you breathe, and the jaw and the teeth are relaxed and soft. There's no tension being held there. Take the focus to your ears. How do the ears feel on the sides of your head? Let the head be heavy. Let it sink into your prop, block, pillow, blanket, whatever you've propped the head up with. Relax the neck and the throat. Collarbones, shoulders, chest, softening. Arms, hands, heavy. Relaxed. The rib cage can breathe. Front, back, and sides. The belly rises and falls naturally with your rhythmic breath. As you breathe out, all of the muscles that surround the hip joints, the ball and the socket, the pelvis, the lower back, the lower spine, they all release, become heavy, almost melting into sand. The thighs, the inner thighs, the outer thighs, the back of the legs, the back of the knees, the kneecaps, all release as you breathe out. The shins, the calves, the ankles, heavy. The tops of the feet, the toes, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and little toe. Hold no tension. Taking a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, relax from head to toes. Take a breath in, take a breath out. Wiggle the thumb, just the thumb. Wiggle the index finger, just the index finger. Wiggle the middle finger, just the middle finger. Wiggle the ring finger, just the ring finger. And finally, wiggle the little finger. Now, bring those fingertips to touch the thumb. Start to rotate a little bit into the wrists. And then wiggle all of 10 toes. Circle a little bit through the ankles. You can bend the knees up and circle the feet out to the sides and inwards. And then bring the feet together. Stretch the toes. Point the toes. Lift the arms as you breathe in over the head. Maybe interlace the fingers as you just press the palms back. Give yourself a big stretch. Open the mouth. Big yawn, a forced yawn. Then release the hands, release the legs, draw them in. Roll and massage out. Roll over to one side. Just take a momentary pause there. Hand comes down. Lie on the side. Head is supported by your pillow or your block. Keeping the eyes closed if you can. Gently press yourself up. And bring yourself back into butterfly. Soles of the feet come together. Hands into Anjali, palms together, thumbs in towards the heart space. Just move the head, move the neck, move the shoulders, move the spine. And then draw into stillness, take a moment's rest. Remembering our theme of Jnana, the path of knowledge, the path of self-realization. Always begins with self-awareness, self-exploration, and self-discovery. And quite often we learn new things about ourselves when we delve a little bit deeper and bring that inner awareness. And just returning to any intention that you had for practice. How you can take that intention into your day or your evening or your week ahead. And always remembering to give yourselves a huge thank you. And I thank you. Namaste.